Right, welcome back everyone to another gaming news video. I am here using the webcam for the first time, and I'm going to kind of go for a corner webcam, me scrolling through different news stories type of style. We'll see how it goes. I'll try and develop it as we go on and make it a bit cleaner. But this way you can see all the sources that I'm getting, as well as I'm also going to put them in the description down below. Hopefully I put all of them down there. So basically this is going to be 2 episodes. This one's going to be more about kind of just general things going on in the gaming industry. And then the next video will be a bit more serious, just because I feel like there's a lot of important things that have happened and are worth bringing up. So yeah, I'm going to start like that. And I think the most important thing to bring up is this one right here, which is basically the petition that I forgot to put in the description, but it was in one of the comments of my loot box video. The government's responded. This is basically the kind of the easy to read response. It basically just says the government takes concerns around loot boxes very seriously and will be launching a call for evidence this summer. So that's kind of surprising from, it being a conservative government. They tend to be very pro-business. Loot boxes are very pro-business. However, the Conservatives are also, if they're going to be concerned about anyone, it tends to be the elderly and children. The elderly because they vote for them, and children because everyone cares about children, or you should do at least. So that's how they have responded. And if we scroll down here, I think this is the most important bit to read. And basically it says, the loot box call for evidence will seek and examine further information on a range of issues. These include concerns that loot boxes might lead to an increase in problem gambling, particularly amongst young people. Other areas we will investigate include the size of loot box market, the design of loot boxes, how loot boxes work alongside other types of in-game purchases, and the effectiveness of the current statutory and voluntary regulation. And then it goes on to say, in addition to a written call for evidence, we plan to hold a series of sessions to discuss issues and solutions in detail, including the most effective approaches to protect people from any harms identified. So this is really good to see. I don't think there's any negative here to this response. Basically it's just the government saying, hey, we will look into it, which is a-okay in my books. Hopefully this actually goes somewhere. Personally, I would like loot boxes to just be banned. I would personally just like gambling to be banned. I just don't think it's helpful or good in society at all. But I understand if it will most likely just get regulated. I wouldn't even be surprised if they put in some form of way of age verifying in a lot of these games. But hopefully this is a move towards direct purchase, battle passes and so on, and kind of that final nail in the coffin of loot boxes, because I just really want them to go. It's just such a evil way of getting money, of profitising. So it's going to be interesting to see for sure. But hopefully, I mean, this appears to be good news. I think so, at least. And then secondly, the second piece of news I wanted to discuss was that Microsoft it is rumoured that they are eyeing up to purchase WB Interactive, as in kind of Warner Brothers kind of gaming division. As you can see from this Tech Radar article, reportedly from CNBC, stating that the parent company AT&T is considering of selling off WB Gaming's gaming division for around $4 billion. Now this is massive. This is massive because not only is it Microsoft, but it's also Activision Blizzard. I don't know why they put Activision, comma Blizzard, because it's the same company really. EA and Take-Two, which is Take-Two are Rockstar's owners, are all looking at this. and it's massive. It's Avalanche Software, NetherRealm. Obviously, NetherRealm is Mortal Kombat, Rocksteady, so the Batman Arkham games. TT Games is Traveller Tales. That's all the Lego games. If Microsoft added these to their lineup for Xbox and PC, for their, because kind of PC is now also part of their exclusive market, in part because of how pro-consumer Microsoft is, this is only a positive for Microsoft. I could definitely see, I mean, I personally am not a big fan of exclusive games. I wish they're all exclusives on all platforms personally, so people can game on what they want to game on. But I understand it's just part of business, it's part of gaming kind of culture. It's going to stay. So I don't particularly see this as a bad thing. If Microsoft goes for it and manage to acquire it, it would be massive news. The one big thing, of course, is whether they would get the licenses for video games for Batman and kind of all the other DC properties, Mortal Kombat, the Lego games. If they don't get those licenses, then yes, you're acquiring really good studios, but you're not only stopping fans of those studios from getting sequels to the games that they like, and sequels to the games that they like on certain platforms, i.e. PlayStation and Nintendo platforms. So yeah, it's interesting. I personally don't think they'll end up buying it, but if they do, it would be a massive move. I mean, Avalanche Software, they make Just Cause, another great video game series, so this would be massive, especially if they get kind of a Sony-style Spider-Man license. So Sony can obviously make Spider-Man films, but they don't have the exclusivity rights to Spider-Man in video games, which is why Spider-Man was in the Ultimate Alliance 3 game on the Switch. But they do have the kind of the rights for him in movies. So if they had the same situation whereby Batman was suddenly exclusive to Xbox and Windows PC, that would be massive. There's no way to bat around that. So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Microsoft has definitely been open about wanting to buy more studios. Personally, if they're going to buy some studios, these are definitely some good ones to go for. And yeah, that's it really. That's all there is to say, because at the moment it's all rumours and it's all up in the air. Now with this one, this is a very interesting one. I'm going to play it quickly because it's a nice little teaser. So, yeah, doesn't show anything really. Essentially what it is that I think Kilter Films, as it says, they're the people behind Westworld, I believe, and basically they're teaming up with Amazon Studios and Bethesda to make a Fallout TV show. Personally, if this is done well, that is awesome. You know, there's going to be a Last of Us TV show as well. I wish the best for all of them. If they're all amazing, great. If they're all bad, that's unfortunate. Video games and TV don't tend to go hand in hand. I think a lot of people say The Witcher, but The Witcher was books first. So in part, I'm a bit like, it's kind of normal for a book to be successful when converted. So I don't know, but I really hope this is good. You know, I hope The Last of Us TV show is good, which is going to be HBO. This is going to be Amazon, the Fallout one. Incredibly excited for this. No two ways about it, really. I really do hope this is a quality TV show. You know, I want Bethesda making kind of more good content. And if there's a good Fallout TV show coming along, then fantastic. This is only, I believe, in the very early stages, though. There's been no filming or anything, so this could actually end up being cancelled. But it's very interesting to see. Now this is the final, I guess, story I wanted to get into in this video, and basically it's a little bit of Twitter drama, Twitter beef, basically, Angry Joe released his review for The Last of Us Part 2. He gave it a 6 out of 10. So above average in his eyes. In his eyes, a 5 is average. In my opinion, as someone who's also watched the story, that's probably around the same area I would give the game. Maybe a tiny bit lower, personally. But, you know, really good review to watch. Just because he raises a lot of good points, even whether you love the game or hate it, I reckon he will probably definitely add to your opinion, even if... I mean, he's not going to change your opinion. If you love it, you'll still love it by the end of watching the review. If you hate it, you'll probably still hate it. But it's a really, really good review. 100%, I'm going to have it linked below. I recommend watching it. But this Alessandro Fileri is a GameSpot journalist who basically tweeted out well, let's just look at it. I think that's the best thing to do. So basically, Angry Joe, or Joe Vargas, as he's known, as his actual name, basically tweeted out, sending death threats is small PP energy. If you send death threats, you are a piece of shit with a micro dick and are announcing that fact to the world. It's never okay, you stupid idiot. I stand with Laura Bailey, who did an amazing job voicing her character Abby in The Last of Us 2, which is 100% true. I've watched the entire game, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Abby was one of the better parts. As in, the character Abby. It's just a shame the rest of her gang were boring asses, really. I can't give two shits about Owen and all of those characters, but Abby was cool. For even with a couple of, pretty glaring character flaws, she was a cool character, and even better, Laura Bailey played her incredibly. Just like Troy Baker does a great job with Joel, and pretty much anyone he plays, Laura Bailey did a great job with Abby. Just attacking anyone for making something, it's just so stupid. People are attacking Angry Joe, people are attacking Skill Up for having, negative reviews of the game, and people are attacking Laura Bailey, Neil Druckmann, Troy Baker for making the game. Don't do either. If you hate it, okay. If you love it, okay. The fact is, if you're that extreme on either end, you're probably, fanatical to an extent. I guess that's kind of the whole point of being a fan of something. So in many ways, I don't really agree with people who love the game or hate it, because in my opinion, the game is anywhere from a 4 to like an 8, depending on where you sit. Anything else, and you're probably being a bit extreme. And I think if you're attacking someone because they have a positive or negative view, or they made the content or whatever, it's just so stupid. But anyway, so Angry Joe tweets this out. Everyone agrees. Yep, don't attack. Well, most people agree. Don't attack someone for doing voice acting. But Alessandro Fileri throws in his opinion, which is that this tweet from Angry Joe rings incredibly hollow, considering his review of The Last of Us Part 2 is just an extended diatribe of his sexist, misogynistic views. His content more than likely contributed to people harassing Laura, so we can fuck off with this pathetic about face. Yeah, I mean, he's just so wrong. That's just a really bad hot take, in my opinion. If you watch the review, and I recommend you do, of the Angry Joe review, he is not sexist or misogynistic in any way. The amount of both men and women in his comments saying how they stand with Angry Joe over his review, whether they actually agreed with his review or not, is insane. He's had massive support for his review, even from those who loved The Last of Us Part 2, who really liked the game. So yeah, it's crazy. I watched the whole thing. Alessandro, down here, he goes on to mention microaggressions. if you've played South Park: The Fractured Butthole, you might remember the microaggression guy, who's also in the TV show, and microaggressions, they still blow my mind. I don't understand. Yeah, you have to be on a different level. So, poor take from this journo. Hopefully he learns from this and learns that you can't just call someone misogynistic because you disagree with their opinion. And hopefully he grows as a person. Obviously, don't go and attack him. I don't think you should attack him. But of course, people were defending Angry Joe, of which he did claim were attacks against him, because of course he did. But I just thought it was quite funny. It's quite a funny little interaction that I saw between, a critic and, I guess, another critic, really. A gaming journalist in Alessandro there. So that's it really for today. I'm going to leave it here because otherwise it'll get too long. I'm about to dive into a much more serious part of the gaming world. Some good, some bad. So I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Like and subscribe, and goodbye.